Nigeria first. Well, that's the new policy we're applauding, an economic policy that's supposed to make Nigeria come first in all procurement processes, foreign goods, devices that are already being produced locally, and without a clear and justified reason that they cannot be procured from outside the country. This, of course, aligns with what President Tinubu, has been saying, his objective of driving industrialization and insulating the economy from global disruptions and boosting local production in the country. Can we make it work? This is not the first. We have to remember that. We've gone through this path before, but what did we get out of it? I don't mean to sound the drum of doom, but let's just be realistic. But let's get the thoughts of the manufacturers in Nigeria. They should, gain more from this. The Director General is right here, Mr. Shegmajai Kadri. Mr. Kadri, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Great. So I've seen your reaction following this announcement, the Nigeria First policy. You're very excited about it. I must say, I think you're also very optimistic about it, but I know you haven't forgotten that we've gone down this road before, and yet we are here again celebrating the pronouncement again.
Yeah. So I think, yes, we are, because if you produce what you consume and you consume what you produce, you have a more integrated economy, you are able to benefit from the economies of scale, and you are able to retain jobs, investments, and wealth. So like you rightly said, this is not the first time we are traveling on this path, but why we are excited now is the fact that I think this policy of government is following the trend as it is in sync with previous reform agenda of government. So we have seen steps being taken to reform the tax environment, and very happy to hear that the Senate and the House have finally passed the 4 bills, so it's going to be harmonized and the President should assent. So we are improving on ease of doing business, so to say. We are passing the tax bills. It's going to create an environment of increased productivity. That is only one aspect of it. And that's not to say that there are not so many other issues, but at least these ones are being taken out. If you have the increased production, what are you going to do with it? I've always said it that to correctly determine what a manufacturer is doing is not saying that he produced. He's actually a seller. Because if he doesn't sell what he has produced will become a burden to him. He will have to hire warehouses where he will keep them, and if they have shelf life, they will expire. He will have to pay regulatory agencies to dispose of those items. So the principal thing is to sell. Now, this policy is going to follow in that trend, to say that we must patronize what produce. And government is the biggest spender in the economy. Either it's ministry, departments, and agencies, the uniformed institutions, and so many other things, government contracts. So if we have this policy and is diligently implemented, we are going to have a boost. And we have done our simulation. We're actually working on it right now to be able to work together with government to make sure it is implemented.
So why some people bring up this question is, yes, we have heard it. And as you noted, government is the biggest spender in the economy. And government is in the leading part. So what they do also motivates the followers. Do we see government, I know somebody put on social media, are you going to give away your Escalades and Lamborghini and go to Innocent, to get... Do we see such practicals? Because that, I believe, is what we need. Yeah. If we're talking of local content, we've been talking about local content for years. Yeah. Do we see the government wear the clothes that are made in Abeokuta? We have those materials there. Do we see them eating what is made here instead of what has been brought into... I think that's the next step that can actually make this different from the former one. We do have the beautiful policies and all of that.
Yes, I mean, that narrative fits squarely into the perennial lack of trust of government. Government has serious trust deficit, and it's based on indiscipline on the part of government, saying what they will not do and doing what they will not say. So citizens are justified to doubt government sincerity. And this government must therefore recognize that nobody is excited about the pronouncement, so to say. Everybody will be excited about the implementation. And to answer your question directly, yes, what we like to see is not saying throw away all that you have. Is to say going forward, this is what you need to do. It will be a delight, for instance, to see Mr. President riding in a vehicle that is assembled in Nigeria. It will be good to see 360 members of the House of Rep, 109 senators, to be able to see the CG of Customs, the Inspector General of Police, all the Army Chief, all of them coming out wearing, for instance, I mean, apart from driving Nigerian auto assembled cars, wearing Adire, Ankara, and buying these textile materials from Nigerian producers. Seeing the army having their tent as tarpaulin, for instance, made by Zara Industries, it will help to send a very, very strong signal that this is the direction of government. You can imagine if the president is driving a car that is assembled in Nigeria, which minister will submit to FEC a proposal to procure vehicles, and you will see the ones that are not assembled here. And what message does this send to those who are producing? It means that whatever you produce will be bought. It means that you can increase your capacity utilization. The average capacity utilization of manufacturing sector for more than a decade has hovered around 50%. So by our calculation, this will be increased by a minimum of 56%. Because you know that there is a market. We are 250 million people in Nigeria, 230, 250 million people. We are more than a quarter of the West African sub-region. So if we have this market patronizing made in Nigeria goods, led by government, that is the biggest spender, we will have tremendous impact. So I believe that government has to intentionally make this work. And the citizens, the civil societies, the communities, the media, the organized private sector, we should ensure that it becomes a lot easier for government, because this is a fake decision. There are ministry, departments, and agencies of government that need to take a cue from this. And there should be consequence for non-compliance. I mean, the problem we had with Executive Order 003 was the fact that it was largely observed in the breach. And those who are supposed to be responsible for implementing it are themselves culprits in this matter.
No consequences.
No consequences. So there has to be a consequence. The CEO of an agency that refuses to implement it should be sanctioned. I'm sure the person who is going to take over from him will think twice and not to do the same. And I believe that it's our responsibility to help government to cure ourselves of this addiction, which, for instance, is completely negative. All that Trump is doing now that everybody is talking about is putting America first. So this is an excellent response from the government to put Nigeria first. And I think the impact is going to be instant. New investments in manufacturing, expansion of current capacities. And what that translates to, more jobs, more tax paid to government, value chain development, because when you produce, you have wholesale, you have retail, you have logistics, and so on, and you employ more people. They'll be able to produce. You have more people and incentivized to produce the raw materials that are required. We reduce our request for forex to bring in foreign goods, and our economy grows.
And Naira will get more strength. Yes. But do we have the production capacity to meet up? I mean, you talked about the population of Nigeria. I know Nigerians, when we go for something, everybody goes for it. Right. Do we have the production capacity?
Okay, like I said, currently we produce at half of our capacity. And the reason is because we can't sell. I don't want us to go into the issue of whether we are able to export what we produce, because exporting from Nigeria is also a nightmare. That's a story for another day. But the fact is that we are already producing, plus the one we manage to export, only about 50–55%. So if we have the market, we can scale to 100 without doing anything, just getting more raw materials to produce. So we have the capacity to deliver, and it will incentivize investment in other areas, which will help government's policy of diversification. There are a number of sectors. I was discussing with my colleagues only yesterday. Our electrical and electronic subgroup is virtually disappearing because of the huge influx of those materials from China and other countries, and the incapacity of the companies that we have to compete, and they are fizzled out. If we increase local patronage, those people will come back to life. We have lost about 60% of our members in the Northeast due to this insurgency and the rest. But we are having some improvement, even though recently we have some setback. They will be incentivized to come. But if when you were producing, it was only at 20, 30, 40%, why take the risk to even come back when peace is being established? So it is actually a confidence-building process that you have a market. Because dangerous as people say Nigeria is, we still have foreign investors coming into the country. Everybody will follow the money. Everybody will follow the market. So if we are able to intentionally and diligently implement it, we are going to have a trickle-down effect that will boomerang around all the economy, and we'll have a lot of success. So I do not fear our capacity to meet the growing demand that will come from the faithful implementation of this policy.
What about quality? A lot of Nigerians say they fear quality. Once they say Nigerian-made products, they're scared that it may not be of top quality.
Yes. So I'm actually a bit surprised about that when I hear, and I never fail to tell them. I never, for instance, use any foreign product that has a Nigerian substitute. I don't. And I'm still alive. So I think what people should fear is actually imported goods. We have NAFDAC, we have SON, we have agencies of government that scrupulously scrutinize our products. Maybe if those people who are saying Nigerian products are not okay, maybe they are buying products that are made by people who operate in the fringe, and they have them all over the world. So, for instance, paint. Some people say if you buy made Nigerian paint, it doesn't last. Where was the paint produced? Was it produced under the bridge somewhere, or in one corner where they just mix, or you patronize a product that has been certified? I have 2,500 members. All of us make quality products. Otherwise, you'll be sanctioned. So I don't know where the story of this thing should come from. And by the way, customs day in, day out, they seize Nigerian products that are coming in from outside, supposed Nigerian products that are coming in from outside of the country, faked, counterfeited. So I believe that we needed to be patriotic, we needed to be fair to the average Nigerian manufacturer who, in spite of all odds, are still able to make those products. And we should patronize them. Government agencies have a lot of roles to play here. The BPE, for instance, must work on the margin of preference, because another thing that they say is that our products are more expensive. Why will it not be more expensive when what foreign countries are doing is simply to dump? And the strategy is an old one that has always worked. You underprice the imports, you put it in the market, it kills the existing domestic market. When they are dead and they can't rise again, you just increase your prices, you take off the market.
I thought it was the overhead costs that was making the Nigerian-made products more expensive.
Yes, so part of it, but it's intentional underpricing, smuggling, dumping. There is no strategy that any business can introduce that will make you to compete against these two. So, for instance, you have a glut. A country is producing more than it should. They decide to say, okay, we have covered our cost. Let's look for an area where we can dump it. If by any chance they look towards Africa, Nigeria is first choice. So you come and you dump those products. There is no way anybody who is producing in Nigeria, borrowing at 30%, struggling with 250% increase in electricity tariff, suffering all sorts of taxes, non-state actors, state actors, federal, local, and so on, you'll be able to compete with that? No, it's a killer. So I believe that our capacity as a domestic economy is to be intentional each way. So to get the agency of government, for instance, that is supposed to implement this, and we should hang it on
so
one
the
agency.
tax reform should deal with a huge part of that, I guess.
Of course. I mean, the prayer is that nothing sabotages this tax reform. And that's why, I mean, yesterday, I really had a lot of thumping with my friends. I'm so excited that we are getting to the end of the road. This journey started 7 months ago. It's already too long. We should wind it up, pass all this.
And I think implementation will start next month or so.
It should start yesterday. It should start yesterday.
Anyway, we wish the tax reforms, you know, that it will really bring, as you said, there will be no compromise, especially in the implementation. And Nigeria First is exciting for all of us, trust me, because when we see the Naira at the level it is, it's not good for anyone. But thank you so much, Director General of Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Mr. Segun Ajayi Kadri, for your time.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Same here.